Yeah, anyone.
I want to explain it as probably like as the play, just in pictures, and it just plays by pages and pictures, and um, it kind of explains. They have like these vocabulary words, and then they have the explanation of the vocabulary words, and they have these pictures of what they're saying. So it's more to so it's like so it's easier to understand because Life is a Dream is a very confusing play kind of. So by with the pictures, it's going to help you, and you take quizzes that help you.
Okay, great. And how would you describe it? The first time when you saw it, how did it happen? Did you watch the whole thing through? Or?
The first time I didn't watch the whole entire thing through. I watched a little bit. Um, and it was kind of just like page by page. Like beginning, it was really funny when they were trying to see each other, and then it kind of just starts going page by page, and like Janessa said, it has like the little vocabulary words there, and it is kind of a little confusing play, so it's better to have to see it instead of just listening to it because it's just kind of just goes like page by page. It's saying it's like a playbook. It says who's the character and who's saying it, and then it says their line, and sometimes how like what they should be like how they should be feeling and stuff like that.
And what's the difference between the visual radio play and when you got the actual book, the script? What would you say? What's the difference?
Script was a little easier to understand because it like said the action, what the character was doing, and when we were watching the play, it was confusing because the characters, like their wording was a little bit confusing, and the play itself, it was a little bit hard to understand. But after you got to the middle of it, it was easier to understand because you got used to it and you understand it more. So the script, it helped me more because I got to read the character's line, and it helped me understand the character's part a lot more.
And what's the hypergloss?
The hypergloss is it's the same thing for a glass bottle, and it just tells the word and says its meaning, and sometimes it gives a little bit like it uses the word in like like sometimes it says like academic, like it's an academic word or
Academic word,
yeah,
academic word, domain specific, and everyday words.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, and sometimes when you get the word and you get the meaning, sometimes it gives like a little sentence with the word in it, like about the book.
So, what's a word that you've learned from the play?
I've learned, one of the words I've learned from the play would be savage, no, adaptation. It means that it's like when you take something and you put it into your own, and you put your own, so if someone else made it, you would take it and you would turn it into something else, which is basically the same thing, but they have different things. Like you know how a diagram works with the two circles? Well, it's like what's the same, what's different from the play, from the regular play, and what's different from the adaptation. It's kind of like that. They just mixed it. They kept some things and they changed some things to make it easier for kids like us to read and for us to understand.
Great. Anybody else? Tell us a word that you've learned and then what it means and how it connects with the play.
I think adaptation too. And it's...
Can you think of a different word? What other words?
grab a copy of the book.
Let's think of Rosaura, or there's the word honor, there's the word...
Oh, I think I remember. I think it was savage. Yeah, that the when you have like a savage behavior, you kind of just have like a really, I don't know how to explain that. Like,
Well, explain who was savage in the play.
I think Sigismundo was like really savage because he was really rude and he had like animal type behavior.
Yep, yep. And can you think of any vocabulary words that you learned from this?
I think it's souvenir. When the teacher talked about it, I didn't know what it was at first, but when she explained it, it was easier for me to understand. And yeah, a souvenir is like you get something from a place, and it's like I think it's like a memory from a while ago or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, souvenir is what I learned.
That was a word. And what about the word acknowledgement? Do you remember looking at the acknowledgements page?
I don't think so. Wait,
Or maybe that was a different class that we did that with. Remember where you saw your names in the front of the play?
Oh yeah.
So-
And then we read the paragraph at the top, and then I had all our names, and then the teacher was like, "Isn't it cool? I'm reading from the book," and I was like, "Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so cool." Because
So explain that, like, from the beginning. It's like in our play, we have an acknowledgements page and our names are on it. So if you want to explain, just talk to the camera.
in our page we have an acknowledgement page, like in the very beginning, and our names are on it for the people who's going to be doing the play, like fifth graders, fourth graders, and third graders, and it has everyone's name in each class. And it at the top there's this paragraph that thanks everyone that has been working in it, and all the companies and stuff that I think it's made the book, made the acknowledgement page and helped at least a little bit. Like it had the teachers, and it had Mrs. Annabelle, and Mr. Forrest, and it would like explain what they were doing, and
Yeah, and we were thanking you for being part of it. We're all on the same team, Tell me about. Now, were any of you in the hangout just now?
yeah, I was.
Okay,
We all
so
were.
okay, great. So tell the camera what is a Google Hangout and how did you use it?
A Google Hangout is it's kind of like when you talk to someone from a different country. Like you could use it to talk to your family member when they're far away and stuff like that. And I remember when we did the Mystery Hangout, we were talking to some people from Ukraine, and they were asking us questions, and we were trying to figure out where they were from, and we were asking them questions too, like if there was any like oceans near them. Like I remember they had said the Dark Sea, the Black Sea. And we had looked at the Dark Sea part, and we had figured it out. And we had asked questions like what was questions? What time is it? Yeah, what time is it in their country? And they had asked us what time it was too. And we had asked them, I think it was like what they were doing. Yeah, and they told us, and they were in the after school program while we were in still like probably like in the afternoon. And it was, I think it was like 4 to 5 p.m. at there, and then it was, I forgot what time it was here. I think it was 8 or something like that. It was 4 a.m. And
Yeah, great, well done. So why do you think we chose the Ukraine for you to hang out with? How did that connect, do you think, with Life is a Dream?
I think that would connect with Life is a Dream because from somewhere else, like all the way over here, and we can tell them about it.
Where did Rosaura come from? Do you remember at the beginning?
Yeah, she came from Russia. Oh, that's because the Ukraine is right next to Russia, so you guys picked people like Russia, and the people that we talked to, they spoke Russian and they spoke Ukrainian, right? And English because they were talking to us, and it was really funny because they had to guess our state, and what happened was that they said, "Do you live near sea?" And then we were like, "Yeah," and then they said, "Are you in Florida?" We're like, "No." "Are you in California?" We said no, and then the closest they got were New York, and then they said Washington D.C., and then they asked us what letter our state starts with, and we said C, and then they said, "Are you in Connecticut?" And it was funny, and then we said yes, and then we started clapping for them, and they felt special. It was fun. It was like really cool to talk to someone all the way on the other side of the world
And then
and
we
on a
said
different
thank
continent. Oh yeah, and we said thank you in Russian and Ukrainian, and it's it was the yuka, I think. Oh yeah, it was daiku, I think. I don't know. I have to look it up because it was D-A. It was yeah, I think it was daiku.
Yeah, that was cool. Okay, great.
Could each of you take a turn just talking about what's your most favorite thing so far about the Life is a Dream project, whatever it is?
We'll take a moment
Everybody
to think
take
about
a turn.
it
Yeah, think
first.
about it for just a second, and then when you. Okay.
The most thing that I like about Life is a Dream is kind of just like all the drama, because it has a lot of drama in the play, and it's just kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a really, like all the people, they kind of just like act like really dramatic, and they kind of, so.
Good.
My favorite thing about Life is a Dream is Rosara, because she's really determined, and like Varsity said, it had some drama in it, and she was really determined to get what she wanted back from he stole her reputation from her, and she was really determined because she traveled all the way from Russia to Poland, and that's like a really long way, and to get to him, and then when she was there, she disguised herself as a man, and then after when she disguised herself as a man, she changed herself back into a woman, and she was a servant for a long time. Well, not for a long time. She was for Asafo was a new girlfriend, and then they finally Asafo knew that it was her, and my favorite part was between them two, because I really focused. I was like whenever they came on, I was like, yes, Rosara and Asafo is on. Rosara's in this scene. Like I'm so excited, and because she has a lot of drama, and I like drama a lot.
What I liked about the play was the drama too, and my favorite character was Sigismundo because he threw out a servant out the window, and it was funny because he said he fell off the balcony, and then Sigismundo, he was very rude in the beginning when King Basilio brought him in and made Sigismundo think he was drunk, but he really wasn't. And yeah, Sigismundo was really rude to the people that were in the kingdom. And yeah, I also like Rosara because she is like kind and really respectful to some people. She doesn't want to be rude. And yeah, I really like the play a lot.
Great.
Cool.
Thank-
And if you want to think about this, is there anything like any storyline, like what happened to Sigismundo? Is there anything there that he learned that you go, you know, that's good for me too. I should learn from him, learn from this story. So if you want to just say, you know, from Life is a Dream, I've learned that for me, I should, you know, whatever.
What I learned from Life is a Dream for me is that you are more than who people see you as. Because since Sigismundo's horoscope was so bad that his father had locked him up in prison because he thought he would be a bad king. So, and his mother died while he was being born. And so when he locked him, when King Basilio let Sigismundo out, Sigismundo was a bad prince because of when he was in the prison, and they put him back in, and finally he in the battle they were fighting, and King Basilio, who fell to his knees, and when Sigismundo was going to strike, he just put down his sword and helped his father out because he wasn't that evil. Then his dad saw him as.
What I've learned from Life is a Dream is that you shouldn't judge someone by what someone else says or about kind of just like what something says. Because what something says isn't, like, sometimes it's not true. Like, Sigismundo, he turned out to be an evil prince, but he started getting a little bit, you know, nicer. So, what I learned from the play was that you should never be rude to anybody if you don't think something isn't real. I got that from Sigismundo because I think it was Clarine told him that he was dreaming. Told him that he was dreaming, and Sigismundo got angry. He kept saying, "No, I think this is real. I am not dreaming." And yeah, you should never be rude to anyone if you don't think something isn't real.